Hello, Brits! As you sit down this evening for your marathon of drinking, from Friday night at the pub talk to Saturday evening drinking and revving to Sunday brunch at the pub, all you drinking folks and complaining folks, just wake up. Simply wake up and realize complaining will not get you anywhere. It'll only get you down to where you want to be, mentally and physically deranged. Moreover, instead of investing your time and your words in something that isn't going to make any change in the real life, get up and do something about it. You might apply the same rule to me. Just to let you know, there's never been a single day that I have sat down and waited for somebody to actually hand me something for me to live or to eat and to be well and to be healthy. I never look for anyone up above to send me solutions to life situations, and life situations that challenges the very being as to who I am as a human, to the challenging changes that tested my life to the limits where others have exploited by pointing a gun at my neck, my rib cage, to my forehead and to my back, and stolen and robbed me. I wasn't in any way angry or upset about it. They spared my life for me to share something about it and do something about where we have ended up as human beings today. We've created so many ways for humans to twist and get tangled to live a peaceful and a gentle life. Yet no one has paid enough interest and importance to the very inner simplicity and the very inner conscious and profoundness. Everyone has been so interested about how to fix the outside situations, how to complain and how to receive a free handout, how to complain and get something out of nothing, how to look up for answers whilst you have made yourself in such a way that no heaven doors will open and send you down a solution for the twisted ideas you have created for yourself and everyone you are involved with. So as we know, from Brexit to Turkey to supply chain issues to political triangles with borders and boundaries to Brexit to policies to politics to religion, for a simple bird like a turkey, an innocent animal like a pig, they're all been brought into the conversation of the British society. Why? As a British society, in the disdain mental attributes, disdain attitude to life, that you work and I will sit down and enjoy the pleasures and luxuries of life. This idea has been exported around the world, with this idea created the empires and the philosophies of life that rest of the world pay, and I sit and enjoy the luxuries. The rest of the nation works at the most ludicrous salaries paid, in a way, just enough so that one has to go to work tomorrow to pay the bills, to feed the stomachs. In this way, the British have sat in the homes, in pubs, in clubs, at restaurants, expecting somebody from far away or from the Far East or from the Eastern Bloc to come and pay or to work for cheap and ludicrous salaries, and for you to sit and enjoy the luxuries of being served at your chair side, delivered to your chair side, delivered to your home, the comfort of your home. And this attitude is what is highlighting to the British society that it is time. If you need something, get up from your chair that you're sitting and candy crushing or clicking for someone to deliver something to your front door. Even that you're unable to open the front door and receive those deliveries. Instead, a concierge has been set up. This disdain, this lazy, this most unlively or unlivable condition has been created through centuries of education, which is no longer relevant for human existence or for human survival or for the survival of our planet. This disdain and most destructive and most convoluted, twisted idea has to change for our lives to thrive and blossom. Instead of complaining about the politicians not getting it right, instead of complaining about the Brexit that you wanted to happen, instead of complaining about the migrant crisis that are at the oceans, instead of complaining about your turkey not being available at the supermarkets or at your Christmas table, or the pig farmers complaining about not having enough labor force to do the deliveries of meat, not enough having butchers and enough drivers to drive those trucks to get the meat and the chickens and your toys to the stores and to your front door. Get up. Simply get up and do something about it. Put your life to work. The body is to turn the soil into food. That's what our ancestors did. That's what our great-grandparents did. That's what our forefathers did before machines start turning the soil and poisoning and polluting through industrial scales. Our ancestral parents, forefathers, just turned enough soil to make enough food so that you and I am here today with a gadget trying to manipulate and to complain about and to receive everything in your hands without having to do anything about it. Stop complaining, stop blaming the government, stop blaming the God, and asking Him for something that you have never received in life. To receive something in life, there's a way. You put your mind and your very body to a conscious and an able capacity to turn something wonderful out of these two hands. With your imagination, putting that into making something wonderful and beautiful to happen. Using your memory to bring about reminding you of not to make the same mistakes as our forefathers and our politicians and our religious folks have remind you of the past mistakes. That memory should remind you to put your imagination to good use, to good work, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Instead of sitting down to get drunk and lose your imagination and losing your conscious, responsible strength and your faculties of life, drink a cup of water, enjoy a useful conversation, drink a homemade juice with fruits and cereals blended with water, and see how it reminds you of a refreshing, rejuvenating, renewing life you become. Instead of getting drunk, unable to get up on your 2 feet, completely losing the conscious mind, a conscious being, losing the faculties to be able to function as a human being, and for your faculties to blossom and to shine to the ultimate, to be able to do something useful. Instead of sitting and complaining about the turkey issues, the truck driver issues, learn to drive the truck. Maybe one day might come useful. Instead of sitting at home and receiving your free handout, free cash from the government, be useful, be constructive in life. Become an able body instead of crippling your able body and making excuses to receive more. Engage your mind in more constructive and more useful, productive ways that your mind and your body works for yourself, and in turn it contributes to the well-being of the other. See ways to find solutions, enhance solutions. Instead of when you're faced by situations complaining and complicating and multiplying the situation into multitude of problems, come up with a solution. Step out and find a meaningful living, that your life, your profoundness is such that it becomes impactful. You're so involved in your complaint and your twisted ideas about life, and it becomes so impactful, no other life can exist. Remove the idea about you are here as a significant life and every other life is here to serve you. Remove this idea about life and see life in a more wonderful, inclusive ways. And in doing so, the health and well-being is just a consequence of that. You trying to become an egoistic, narcissist, selfish, greedy I, as in I, as a individual, is a sickness in my eyes. I giving importance and significance to the I has become the biggest sickness on this planet thanks to the so-called education we exported around the world from the soils of this wonderful island so-called Great Britain. British folks and the folks around the world, if you're looking up to the affluence and the influence of the so-called first world and the educated world, the intelligent world, look no further than inwards. Try and fix your idea about life, and the very life will show you how to be living as a human being. Maybe by fixing and engineering your inner well-being, the inner consciousness. So-called the third eye is not to look out, but to look inwards and to fix the situation that you have created for yourself and everyone around. Ultimately, the problem will only exist as long as you imagine of all of the negativity, all of the nonsense that you came up with. The world doesn't work the way you imagine. The world cannot fit into your logical mind. The world will never fit into your logical peg. Unless you fit your mind into the phenomena of life, which is universal, which is consciousness, which is existence, you will constantly become a square peg in a round world. Having to fit yourself into it, you may get stuck every single time. I hope you may never get stuck in that. I hope you do not have to fit yourself into the square peg, square hole, that you become so fluid that everything that you are, you become one with everything. That is what I have learned in unlearning what I've been told all my life. Isn't it time now that you wake up and realize that there is no truck driver issues, there is no Chinese supply chain issues, there is no virus implications, and ports and airports are not suffering because of the COVID issues. We've locked down, we found the way to curtail the human compulsions. If you continue to fit your compulsions into the pre-pandemic times, overnight, over a short period of time, you're going to come stuck with everything you've done and improved with your life. There are no complications to life unless you contribute to that complication by creating your compulsions and multiplying by getting your greed out. Your greed, your insignificance has become the serious problem. You have become the most significant for yourself by ignoring the fundamental existence of this universe and the very life form of the creation. It is time that you stop all your nonsense if you want to be life, Just pay attention to life.